Hi, first graders. Welcome to a new unit of reading. We are going to start a new unit all about things that are make-believe. Fairy tales, folk tales, and fables. Oh my! We're going to have so much fun and go on so many adventures to new places. We're going to meet new characters. We're going to go to faraway places that are make-believe, and you might even read about some characters that you've seen in movies, like Snow White or Cinderella, or even princes and kings and lots of fun things that we get to start reading about in our next unit. This week, we are going to get to know each type of fairy tale, folk tale, tall tale, and fable. We're going to learn what those mean and all about this new genre of books. Genres of books are a type of book, and these types of books are fiction. They are make-believe, and you'll see that I have my crown on to be like a princess, and I'm in my castle, and we're going to go on an adventure today to just explore and see what we notice about these type of books. See how they are different than maybe other books you've read, and maybe see what you notice that these books have in them that make them fairy tales and folk tales and fables. What makes them special? So I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to look at something together. I want to show you something in Schoology that we have for today, okay? In Schoology for today, at the bottom, it's really important that you go to the bottom of Schoology today because I want to show you what we have. I added a new fairy tale, folk tale, and fable book box in your Epic library. So let me zoom in to show you what I mean. At the bottom of your Epic library, now if you see here, it says fairy tales, fables, and folk tales because these are all books that you can choose to read throughout this unit because they are all focused on things that we will be learning about. If we're learning about fairy tales, you can read about fairy tales. If we're learning about fables, you can read fables. And if we're learning about folk tales, you can read folk tales in here. So I'm going to click here to show you what it is. There's so many fun books. Some of them read to you. Some of them you can read. And I want to show you all of these choices. So these are first grade books that are ready for you to read today. This is one way you can read fairy tales, folk tales, and fables. One way is Epic, and another way is Raz Kids. If you go to Raz Kids and go to My Assignments, your teacher might have assigned you some fairy tales and fables to read. If not, they might do it later, so check back. But you can read fairy tale and fable books on Raz Kids by going to Reading and going to My Assignments, okay? And the last way is your librarian might have made you a Mac and Via fairy tale group. If you're at Mockingbird, Miss Mosty is making you a fairy tale Mac and Via group, and there's a video below my video today to show you how to access that. So make sure to watch that video to see how to get your Mac and Via fairy tale group. Okay, so we want you to have as many choices as you can, and today I'm going to read you one from these books. I'm going to read you, let's see, look at all these fun choices. I noticed that these are all illustrated. That means that authors drew these books. And I'm going to read this one. It says Fairy Tales and Fables for Kids. I'm going to mute the audio so you can't hear that. If you ever want to mute the audio, you'll just press down here. That way you can read the book yourself. Well, let's look at this book. So this book has different stories inside. Cindy and the Prince, Jack and the Beanstalk, Ants and the Grasshopper, and so on. So I'm going to read Cindy and the Prince today. And I want to see if we notice anything that makes this book different than other books, okay? Cindy and the Prince. Cindy is a good girl, but her stepmother doesn't like her. She asks Cindy to do all the housework. The prince is going to have a party, says the stepmother. Cindy's stepsisters are excited. They are going to the party. This sounds like Cinderella. Can I go? Asks Cindy. No, you must clean the house, her stepmother laughs. Cindy cries. Why are you crying? Asks a voice. It is a fairy. I cannot go to the party, says Cindy. I will help you. Abracadabra, bippity boppity boo. The fairy gives Cindy a beautiful dress. She can go to the party. Come home before 12 o'clock, says the fairy. Cindy meets Prince William. He likes Cindy. May I dance with you? He dances with her all night. It is 12 o'clock. I'm late. Cindy runs away. She loses her shoe. The prince picks up her shoe. He lets many girls try it on, but it doesn't fit any of them. Then he finds Cindy. Cindy tries on the shoe, and it fits. Will you marry me? Of course. Cindy gives the prince a hug. Okay, so I want you to notice in this story, are the characters make-believe? They are make-believe. And is there some magic in this story? I see some magic with the fairy godmother. I also think that this story sounds like a fairy tale because they live in a castle and there's a prince and princess, and this seems like a fairy tale type of book. Now, in your Epic Library, there are lots of books. Some are fairy tales, some are folk tales, and some are fables. And you might be asking, like, what are folk tales and what are fables? We're going to learn about each one this week. But first graders, all I want you to do today is you get to explore the magical world of fairy tales, folk tales, and fables. You can read different stories and just see what you notice. Do you notice any magic? Do you notice any make-believe? Do you notice any animals that talk? I want you to look out for things you notice. I want you to read some books today, either in your Epic Library or on Raz Kids, if you have fairy tales on Raz Kids, or if your librarian made you a Mac and Via fairy tale group, you can read those. And I want you to screenshot your favorite that you read today and post it to Schoology. Let me stop sharing. I want you to post your favorite book you read today from one of those choices to Schoology so we can see what fairy tales or fables or folk tales you read. Well, I'm so excited for this new unit, and I hope you're ready for a magical time of reading. So off you go, and happy reading.